The collapse of Bashar al-Assad's regime, a scenario once deemed improbable, sent shockwaves through Moscow, reverberating through the halls of power and strategic planning centers. The implications were immediately clear. It upended years of Russian investment, both financial and political, and a carefully constructed strategy in the Middle East. This strategy had been meticulously crafted to project power and secure regional influence. Russia's influence, once anchored by a stable pro-Russian Syria, a cornerstone of its regional presence, is now in question, hanging precariously in the balance. The future of Russian involvement in the region is uncertain. The Kremlin faces a critical test, a moment of reckoning that will define its future role in the region. Can it maintain its power broker status, its ability to influence events and shape outcomes, without its key ally Assad? The answer to this question remains to be seen. Russian diplomats and military planners, now facing an entirely new landscape, are scrambling to salvage influence, to preserve what remains of their strategic gains and prevent further erosion of their position. They are forced into a reactive posture, responding to events rather than dictating them, a significant shift from their previous assertive stance. The loss of Assad is more than a political blow. It's a strategic earthquake. It threatens Russia's strategic assets, including vital naval and air bases that provide crucial access to the Mediterranean. It also jeopardizes its image as a reliable global player, a partner who stands by its allies, potentially undermining its diplomatic credibility on the world stage. Moscow must now engage with new Syrian authorities, navigating a complex and uncertain political transition, redeploy military forces, adapting its military presence to the new realities on the ground, and recalibrate relationships across the region, forging new alliances and reassessing existing partnerships in a rapidly changing geopolitical landscape. The era of Russian dominance in Syria is over, marking a significant shift in the regional balance of power, but Moscow is already seeking new partnerships, exploring opportunities to expand its influence in other parts of the region, and diversifying its influence in the Middle East and North Africa, pursuing a multifaceted approach to maintain its regional presence. The fall of Assad is a setback, a significant diplomatic and strategic loss for the Kremlin, but for Russia, it's also a catalyst for strategic evolution, forcing it to adapt, innovate, and seek new avenues for projecting power and influence in a volatile region. With Assad's departure from power, a new chapter begins, filled with uncertainty. Russia's priority is preserving its military bases in Syria, vital to its geopolitical strategy. Tartous and Khmeimim hold immense significance as Russia's only Mediterranean footholds. They provide crucial access and strategic positioning, projecting Russian power far beyond its borders. They are vital for gathering intelligence, allowing Russia to monitor regional developments. Losing them would cripple Moscow's regional capabilities. The new Syrian government, under Ahmed al-Sharaa, is open to negotiation regarding the future of these bases. However, the Syrian government also uses them as leverage in negotiations with Moscow. Talks are tense, marked by strategic maneuvering. Syria demands the extradition of Assad from Russia in exchange for continued access to the bases, a condition that Moscow firmly refuses. The standoff highlights the new dynamic in the relationship between Syria and Russia. Syria is asserting its sovereignty. Russia remains steadfast in its determination to protect its strategic assets. The negotiations are being conducted with utmost seriousness. For Russia, it's about maintaining a crucial military presence in the Mediterranean. For Syria, it's about securing support for reconstruction. The future of Tartous and Khmeimim remains uncertain. The outcome hinges on high-stakes diplomacy. Russia's ability to secure these bases will define its new relationship with Damascus. The outcome will shape Moscow's broader regional strategy. Assad's fall shattered the lucrative economic ties between Russia and Syria. Russian exports, especially wheat, once kept Syria afloat and cemented Moscow's influence. The new Syrian authorities have banned Russian imports, severing a key economic lifeline. This loss is a blow to Russia's pivot to the south strategy, exposing the fragility of alliances built on political patronage. For Russian businesses, the Syrian market is now hostile and uncertain. Damascus is signaling independence, forcing Moscow to rethink its economic approach. Rebuilding ties will require more than diplomacy. It demands a new strategy in a changed landscape. With the situation in Syria remaining complex, Russia is strategically pivoting its focus to Libya, recognizing the country's geopolitical importance. Moscow is accelerating its support for General Khalifa Haftar, a key figure in the Libyan conflict, providing him with resources and assistance to bolster his position. As part of this strategic shift, Moscow is carefully relocating military assets and personnel from Syria. These assets are being redeployed to bases and territories controlled by Haftar, strengthening his military capabilities. This move is driven by Russia's ambition to secure a new and strategically vital foothold in the Mediterranean region, enhancing its naval power and influence. A strengthened presence in Libya offers Russia a crucial fallback option should it face challenges or lose access to its existing naval facility in Tartous, Syria. Furthermore, a strong position in Libya allows Russia to significantly expand its sphere of influence across the broader North Africa region. To solidify its presence, Russia is actively negotiating with Libyan authorities for the official use of the port in Tobruk. The ultimate goal is to establish a semi-permanent military base in Tobruk, providing Russia with a long-term strategic advantage in the region. This represents a proactive and deliberate expansion of Russia's regional reach and its ambition to play a more prominent role in global affairs. Moscow aims to gain significant leverage over Europe, particularly in areas related to energy security. This leverage extends to control over regional energy flows, as Libya possesses significant oil and gas reserves that are crucial to European energy security. Assad's fall has drawn Russia and Iran closer, transforming their partnership into a strategic alliance. Moscow now relies on Tehran's networks to salvage its interests in Syria and beyond. Russia is finalizing the sale of advanced fighter jets to Iran, signaling a new level of military cooperation. This arms deal strengthens Iran and deepens the anti-Western axis in the region. The partnership extends to intelligence sharing, joint exercises and technology transfers. While both countries have competing interests, their shared opposition to the West overrides tactical differences. Russia's embrace of Iran is reshaping the regional balance, but also risks new frictions. The Russo-Iranian axis is now a defining force in the post-Assad Middle East. Russia's closer ties with Iran threaten its delicate relationships with the Gulf Arab states. Supplying Iran with advanced weapons alarms Saudi Arabia and the UAE, risking energy and investment cooperation. Moscow's mini-max strategy, maximum gain, minimum commitment, is under strain as Gulf states reconsider their partnerships. The Gulf may pivot closer to the US, undermining Russia's challenge to Western influence. Russia will try to reassure Arab partners, but its tilt toward Iran is hard to disguise. The Kremlin faces a tough choice: deepen its alliance with Iran or preserve economic ties with the Gulf. Navigating this dilemma is a critical test for Russian diplomacy. The outcome will shape Russia's future role in the region. Russia's foreign policy is driven by a mini-max doctrine: maximum geopolitical benefit, minimal resource commitment. The Middle East and Global South are now vital for Russian trade, especially after Western sanctions. Moscow is investing in new trade corridors, ports, and partnerships to bypass Western choke points. The loss of Syria complicates this network, but also pushes Russia to diversify further. Libya, Egypt, and Algeria are now key hubs in Russia's new economic geography. Russia offers pragmatic partnerships, arms, security, and trade without Western-style conditions. This approach appeals to many regional leaders wary of Western interference. Despite setbacks, Russia's flexible, opportunistic strategy keeps it relevant and influential. Assad's fall ends an era, but not Russian influence in the Middle East. Moscow is recalibrating, salvaging military assets, managing economic fallout, and forging new alliances. The pivot to Libya and deepening ties with Iran are bold moves to maintain regional clout. But closer ties with Iran risk alienating the Gulf, testing Russia's balancing act. Russia's future hinges on remaining indispensable, militarily, economically, and diplomatically. The loss of Assad is a setback, but also a lesson in adaptation. Moscow's long game continues, evolving strategies to secure its place as a global power. In the new Middle East, Russia's flexibility and pragmatism will determine its fate.